Here we are, Terry. Hello, happy Friday.
Hello, my friend. Happy Friday to you too. Hey, everybody.
Hi, yeah, hello, everybody. Thanks, everybody, for being here. Janet popped in early to say hi, and she was wondering what time the show would start. So, Janet, thank you so much for being here. And Annie says that she's almost home from the grocery store, and she said it is pouring like crazy.
Yeah. Wow. Nice. We've got a little bit of rain here, but it's nice and chilly. Chilly
It's
weather.
chilly here. It
Is
was
it?
in the low 50s. Yeah, I had a hard time getting out of bed this morning because it was really chilly.
Right?
I'm like, oh, can I see my breath?
Yeah. I had Robert Grant was in my dreams. I think I shared that earlier, but it was the intuitive physicist scientist guy. He's just a wild man. He's so smart and good looking. Anyway, he was in it and he was talking a mile a minute like he normally does because he's
Yeah.
brilliant. But I was just like, God, that's a lot, Robert.
you, you need to pump the brakes just a little bit. It's like,
Yeah.
I dreamt I was in Matthew McConaughey's SUV.
Oh, hello.
And he was driving like a crazy person. I mean, taking corners too sharp, and we were like going off the. Oh, it was it was quite the dream.
Oh
Oh gosh,
man.
Edward,
Yeah.
thank you for being here. And Linda Bishop is here, and we have Teresa Ford is here,
Beautiful.
and Michelle Krantz. Thank you guys for being here. Vicki is here. Thank you guys for sharing your time with us. It's a Friday, it's the start of the weekend, and I am Warrior. Hello, thank you for being here.
I am.
I
Oh,
love your little kitty, Bernie.
Bernie. So cute.
And Lori or Laura snapped. I like that. I like that. That's a cool picture too.
Yeah.
And I am Warrior says, wow, Robert Grant. I love him.
Right. And I think he's just like he is online when we see him in the shows, like the way he was talking. It was just
Yep.
brilliant person. Brilliant.
He is a brilliant man.
Mm-hmm.
Awesomeness is here. Hello. And Aaron. Thanks, you guys, for being here. Courtney.
Aaron's in
Jessica.
Arkansas.
Lynn. Oh my gosh.
I love Jessica.
Jen B. Akila. Thanks, you guys,
Jen.
for being here.
Wow, Akila got a new picture. That's beautiful, Akila.
Oh, and Julie, TGIF, time for this great show. Oh gosh, you guys, thank you. And so Terry and I, we are going to be just talking a little bit about what do we need to let go of? And there's always something, right? There's always something that we can work on to let go of, and just clearing the way for blessings to come in. And Terry and I were talking backstage, and I think it's something that we're going to I think it's something that we're going to be really, really working on in these next few months into the end of the year. But I think it's going to be something we're working on the rest of our life too. I mean, there's always going to be something that surfaces that we look at, and as our vibration rises and we see things in a different light, and then we go, oh yeah, I could work on this, or I really need to need to let go of this. And so, yeah, what do you think, Terry?
100%. 100%. We're going to have more opportunities to do things like this because as we head into a higher vibration and out of the 4D and the 3D, these things are going to arise that we're going to realize, well, that was just a construct of the paradigm or of the matrix. And it doesn't really have anything to do with our reality. Whatever you call reality or our frequency, it will no longer hold in the see that you guys are going to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I read something before the show that said letting go isn't about loss, it's about liberation.
Oh, I love that.
And I thought it really kind of seems appropriate. And we everything is energy. I mean, we talk about that all the time, that people, places, things, everything is energy, and we're constantly picking up that energetic clutter. And so, and we bring it in from other past lives too. So not only are we dealing with this, but we got the past life energy that we bring in, that we're working on to release. And when we do, it really helps us travel a little bit lighter, I think.
Yeah, more buoyant, right?
Yeah.
Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
Able to jump. Yeah, and I agree. Some of it's karmic and ancestral, and some of it's, or rather, past lives, but some of it's to our lineage, so ancestral stuff that we're clearing away, because even that gets caught up in your genome and your gut. So all that good stuff gets to go.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Courtney, that was so nice. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Courtney. Yeah.
And so there was, and I'm just going to be honest, and there's a couple things that I have been working on lately, and one is control. I sometimes tend to want to control it, especially aspects of like my family. I know I'm kind of a control freak, and so I'm really working hard on just allowing everybody to do their thing and trusting. And I have to say it is a little bit hard, and I just by doing a little bit of working on it and really tuning in and doing the body scans, when a person holds on and is trying to control things that we don't need to control, it tends to block our solar chakra, and it takes away our peace, because we're so focused on controlling every aspect of everything else that we're not in alignment with our true self. And so that is something I have been working on, and just allowing, trusting the divine, and just knowing that everybody is on their own path, and that it's not my job to take care of everybody and their happiness too. And I sometimes feel like the weight of other people's happiness is on my shoulders too.
Yeah.
And that's all me. I've taken that on myself, and I'm letting the universe know that, you know what, I'm letting go of that. It's like, it's not my job to make everybody happy. And it's hard because, you as a mom too, I know you want your kids and your family to be happy, but to let go of that, I think is huge. It's a huge surrender.
Yeah. Yeah, it really is. Yeah, I had that opportunity this week too, to look at, what I'm holding on to. And a lot of it is about, for me, my relationship with others. And I think I've gotten pretty good with my sisters and brothers, like not holding on to, because they're adults, and they're beautiful, and I love them, and we have good relationships. And my kids, we have great relationships, but what I try to control is their past. Like it's interesting. I look at our past and things that have happened, and I think, ooh, you could have done that one better. You
Yep.
could have handled this in a completely different direction. And I judge myself. And so that's been like a story that I've taken forward, that I really had to look at this week in particular. And when I'm doing that, and you guys, Callie does amazing readings, huge, just amazing. And when I do readings, sometimes spirit brings me messages to other people, but I'm like, oh, that's really good. I'm going to use that.
I'm going to take it.
Right. And that's kind of one of the things. And they always show me that all of us are divine beings having a human experience, but also that it's, that high heart energy returning to love and just recognizing that in others and really recognizing it in the people that we love. That
Yes.
they are divine beings and they've got this. They're amazing just the way they are. And if you send them that love, it changes everything. So,
So
mm,
true.
yeah,
So true. And I was kind of reminiscing about when the kids were younger, and I apologized to them for being so controlling. And I said, I really think as a mom, I thought, I mean, I was probably picking out their clothes until they were in middle school, if not longer. I mean, my gosh, they could have picked out their own clothes, but it was, I wanted them to wear this, and it was a control thing, right? And I told them, I said, I am so sorry. I am so sorry. I just wanted everything to be so. And I said, I really did you guys a disservice by doing that. And I said,
yeah.
I'm sorry.
Well, let me just say you have a great fashion sense, though, so I understand it a little bit.
Oh, thank you. But it's like, you know, all those coulda, shoulda, wouldas, and so I've been kind of looking at that
Yeah,
this week and going, and apologizing. And the thing of it is when we can either apologize or forgive the other person or forgive ourselves.
yeah,
It's so healing too.
yeah. And who are we without that story that we're carrying that either that burden because we were in control. Oh, Teresa Ford.
Teresa. Yeah.
And Teresa Ford is a fashionista. Let's just put it out
Oh
there.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, totally a fashionista. So, so it is interesting because we do hold on to that. And who are we without that story? So if we're not carrying a big sign that says I'm a failure or I failed at this part of my life, and carrying that around in that pain body, then we are more buoyant. We're like we're joyful. Yeah,
Yeah, and when we let go of those things, it makes room for blessings, and our vibration raises, and our vibration rises, and it allows blessings to flood in, because so much of that energy is constricted into holding on to other aspects of other people.
yeah,
Another one too, I have been working on, and I've been working on this for a few years, and I think I'm pretty good now, but I think there's always room for improvement, is resentment. I was holding on to some resentment with some family issues, and it was really hard. I ended up having to do it was probably over a year counseling, and really looking at some family dynamics that I felt were done to me, and what we always say is it's not done to us, it always happens for us.
yeah,
But when it does happen and it cuts so deep, sometimes it's really hard. And so I've been in the past years, I've been working on that too, and that's a tough one, because it blocks our heart chakra, and when our heart chakra is blocked, it our other chakras become blocked. And I also found out that it blocks our root chakra too. And
oh,
so resentment is if anybody's out there that is holding on to those little things that have happened in the past, if you can let go of them, yeah, it blocks our root chakra and our heart chakra, and and just turning the forget, if a person can forgive and just turn it into love and just know that we're all on different paths, I think really, really helps.
Yeah, I think you're right. I know you're right. It's like I've had opportunities this past couple of months to think about old situations that I had held on to for a long time, like old friendships that something had hurt my feelings, and I don't know about you guys, but I'm pretty sensitive, and
Yeah, me
it's
too.
pretty
Me
easy to
too.
hurt my feelings, but you have to get really close to me, and I've got people that very few that have done something like that has happened, and then it's all the more hurtful because they're so special to you. So, and I've had an opportunity to send them a lot of love
Yes.
and change the story on it. So, changing the story is kind of like a trauma trick or a trauma tool that
Yeah.
we can use, and like and they teach this when you've been through all sorts of traumas, that you write out your story like, this person is my abuser and I'm the victim. You change that story like, this person is a such and such so and so, and you know beyond whatever, beyond insane or beyond something. And then you're like, and you were a child, or I was a child, or I was I didn't know how to use my voice at that time. And so when you change that story, it changes the energy around it. So it's kind of an interesting thing to use. It's a little trick of the trade, but it's very fruitful for me. So yeah, I hope it works if anybody else is looking at it.
Erin says painfully sensitive, and I understand. Yeah.
Right? Yeah, Aaron. It's like we're vulnerable and we're empathetic. And yeah. Oh, Annie Bear, we are doing so much healing in our dreams. We slough off old patterns as we heal. No one is late. I love that, Annie Bear. Yeah, there is no judgment, and especially on the other side. And judgment is just something of the matrix that here in the 3D, it doesn't exist on the other side. So it's like sloughing those things off. All of that is part of the matrix.
Okay.
And yeah, and as we reprogram our bodies, reprogram our minds, and reprogram our energy level or crystalline bodies, and how we connect to the 3D, it changes everything. But that reprogramming, I think, looks different for every single person,
Yes.
and whatever works for you guys is the right thing.
Exactly. Exactly. And Annie, yeah, you're so right. We are doing so much healing. And last night it was a little bit better, but I have been waking up like really, really extremely hot. And last night I think it was only a couple times, but I think the night before it was like four times. And I really think that we're just we're clearing away that rubbish that if we're not able to look at it during the day, I think our angels and guides are just helping us get rid of it at night. And so that heat is what they told me is it's a releasing. And what they also told me about that is not only are we releasing it, and that's where the heat is coming from, but it's also when they're releasing, we're also getting downloads too at the same time. And so if you're waking up exhausted, there's reasons why
Yeah.
you're waking up exhausted. And I don't know about you, I am being flooded by people that have crossed over in my sleep. I mean, people coming to me just really a lot lately. You know, friends that I grew up with in high school, like their parents and old neighbors and whatnot. So the veil, you guys, is really thin. So if you guys are wanting to connect, now is the time for sure, because they're able to get through a little bit easier.
Yeah. Yeah. It is really clear. Yeah. Anytime before Halloween, or around Halloween, and there is no time or space. So anytime you want it, really. But there was a lot of clear channels coming in. Love is a gift is given. It cannot
Yes.
be taken or stolen or forced. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Perhaps we're so sensitive so we can start the flow of healing for each of these pain matrix areas for the collective.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
Love that, Teresa Ford. That's so important. I'm glad you said that, Teresa, because I feel like as we heal the planet. And it's not that we can't be active out there and getting signatures done and whatnot for things that are happening, but we don't really just shining our light and raising our vibration is a huge thing for this planet right now. Because as each of us sloughs off all that old stuff, we interconnect. And that's something else I wanted to talk about is interacting instead of reacting.
Yes. Yes.
Because
Thank you.
yeah, I forgot. but sometimes it's like we'll say something and somebody will react to what you said, like no matter if it was meant in love, like give love a chance, and somebody's like, oh, it's that, and then you're like, that, and that's kind of that. Anytime we react to something, that stifles the communication and that stifles the energy. It's a block.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of reacting to what somebody says, interacting with them, and before you speak, just thinking, am I and peace in my heart, and kind of witnessing awareness where we're watching what we're doing, and oh, that's curious that they would say that. That kind of hurts my heart, and it almost makes me feel like my throat chakra is blocked. But I understand that I can reply in such and such a way. Not that you ever want to stifle your emotions, but we do want to interact with people, and you're still going to have times where it's going to be, just a hey,
Yeah.
emotion in
Human,
the car
right?
or
Yeah.
something like, hey, you, blah, blah, blah. and then you can kind of, and I do that too still sometimes, and I'm like, and then I start laughing like, are you kidding me? Did you just say that? You got to be crazy, but yeah.
It's the awareness though, right?
Yeah,
Being-
it is totally the awareness and having fun with it.
Yep. And because I know I really, really, really try to not to react. And I was in a situation in the last month,
Yeah.
and I reacted, but I caught myself when I was reacting.
Yeah.
And I said, you know what, I'm sorry. I said, I'm sorry, I was triggered, and I said, and I'm going to have to look at that because it's not you, it's me. There's something, that I'm holding on to that I need to look at that made me react. And so we're human, right? I mean, we're works in progress.
Yeah.
Always.
I had dinner with some girlfriends last night, and their friends from our kids had been in sports together, and from pre-K on, and into high school and stuff. Anyway, they really nice group of gals, and so we're all having dinner together, and one of them's talking about her son, who's this big guy, and he's with another friend of ours, and her son, and he's about yay big, and a thin little thing, and they're in Baltimore, and they'd been downtown for the Chiefs game. So we're all from Kansas City, and the Chiefs had kind of wall up the Baltimore, whoever they are. I want to say Oracles, but I think that's
baseball.
That's baseball, yeah. Anyway, so they were playing.
I think maybe. Oh, is it Falcons? I don't know.
Maybe, I don't know. Anyway, so they were playing Baltimore, and they're walking downtown, and Chiefs had walloped them, and they're walking and they're laughing, to get to their hotel, and this big group of big guys comes up, and they're like, "Hey, you want to fight?" And he looked at the guy. Her son looked at the guy and said, "No, sir, I absolutely do not want to fight. Please don't fight with me." And right there, the guy he stopped and he thought, and he goes, Okay, sounds good. And they walked on. But he disarmed the whole situation.
Yeah.
He like, no, sir. Thank you. No, we don't want anything to do with that. We don't want
I love that.
right. And so I was like, wow. Uh, Um, and to say that back to somebody whenever somebody says like, are you an idiot? And then you say it back to them and say, am I an idiot? Nope, not right now. So
I
it
love that, Terry.
right? So it kind of does change the situation. There's a lot of little things like that.
And it gives them something to think about.
Yeah.
Because those words that come off our tongue, they can't be taken back.
Yeah. Yeah. Though we can still say our truth. So
Yes.
there are situations where I'm not saying that you're not going to say your truth, because standing up for yourself and your point of view,
Exactly.
if you have a different view, but we can interact with that.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
So true.
yeah.
I did a past life meditation Wednesday night, a shaman one. It was so clear. I'm so happy. I know one now. Number 2 is still a fuzzy outline. He was cool from the Brazils. How cool.
Nice.
What a great experience.
Yeah, Nadia. That's beautiful, honey. Yeah. Yeah. Awesomeness says if people become abusive, I leave. Yeah. You boundaries too, right?
Yeah.
Don't yeah. That's a good way to interconnect, because we're all interconnected and sometimes we just can't be with them. So
Yeah.
shielding yourself. Yeah.
Sorry, this is a little political. Spoke with my brother and
Sister-in-law.
oh, sister. Yeah, thank you, sister-in-law. And I said something about the way the world was right now, and they tried to rip me a new one. I said, I said we will have to agree to disagree, and that was like the best
Yeah.
comeback.
Yeah.
Best comeback.
Good for you, Jen. Yeah. Yeah. Interesting, isn't it? Yeah.
Ellie says rejection can be so freeing. And so true. You know what? I always say rejection is protection. Because and sometimes but sometimes it can be a little hurtful, especially if we're tied to the person and we feel like we're being rejected. But it's always for our protection. We're always being protected. But
Yeah.
it can also be so freeing.
Yeah.
Sloughing and fluffing. Julie.
Julie's has Julie been on your channel yet?
Yes.
Oh
Yes.
God, I need to have her on. Julie,
Yes.
email me. I love her. She's amazing.
Yeah, I think last Friday we were on and we talked about the topic was empaths, spiritual tools for empaths.
She's amazing.
She's so amazing.
Yeah. Julie, I've just been swamped. So hey, you get off of my cloud.
Love that. I'm gonna use that one, Teresa. Hey, get off my cloud.
Yeah.
And he says, I am learning to stand in my power through clear speaking, saves lots of headaches, boundaries, intact. You know what I mean? Exactly.
Yeah. Annabeth's really, she's very clear spoken. That's a gift, being clear spoken. And that's something I still work with, Annie. It's like saying what I really truly want to someone. So it's, I'm always
it can
questioning,
be hard,
did
right?
I say what I wanted to say? Huh?
It can be hard, especially if we feel like we're going to disappoint the person.
Yeah. Yeah, it is hard. And so my dad had a little bit of rage, and my late husband had a lot of rage. So when you have rage in your house, everybody learns how to be quiet and how to cope, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying that he was a horrible person or anything like that, but he was he had some rage, and so So when you get used to living like that, it does stifle your voice, and it stifles everybody's voice in the family. So then when we can be late to anything we want to, and we can say, hey, um, forget about it. But there's some healing time that happens. So yeah.
And don't you think, Terry, that that well, and I'm sure there's a lot of people that grew up in houses that were somewhat similar,
Yeah.
that the whole stifling your voice, and I know even myself, my my dad didn't rage a lot, but when he did, if you pushed him far enough, when he got mad, he got mad. But there was we grew up where you just don't say anything that's going to disrupt the apple cart,
Yeah.
and so you're being conditioned to hold your stuff in, because you don't want to make mom mad, you don't want to make dad mad, you want to keep the peace. And all of that conditioning, I think in some aspect, way or form, we've all been conditioned in something, in some way, that if we can look at it now as we're getting older, and know, what, it's doing me a total disservice to be holding on to this, that my voice matters, I matter, my words matter. And it really, it's that too is just really, really freeing.
Yeah. Yeah. That's so well put, Kelly. It's they call it the conditioned mind sometimes, in Chopra teachings they do, and that conditioned mind that we have in 3D. And as we all awaken, it's like, bam, we don't need that anymore. And we can freely say what we want to say. And we can freely, like, fly our freak flags.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, yeah.
Jen
Uh,
B, I get emotional immediately, and then people poke at me about it, and turn on the tears. Whatever, any suggestions on how to pause the emotions until appropriate time to let them out? You know, what do you think, Terry? How would you handle the situation?
so Jen, I'm the same. I can get very emotional very quickly. And I'm sensitive, and I get tearful quite easy. What I have realized for me that helps the most is to go into curiosity. And the minute I start to tear up, or I feel my heart or my shoulders close up, I think, well, that's an interesting way to react, Terry. What's that feeling like? And what are you feeling right now? And what do you want to say? And what would make this situation work a little better? So, really going into curiosity, because you might have a little bit of also fight or flight left, and sometimes there's a situation in our bodies, and Kelly's really good at this because she cuts the cords or helps you do that. But there's a situation in your body where you go to freeze. And a lot of times, if you still have a freeze from fight or flight in your root chakra, then it's real common that we're not in touch with those emotions, and because we're not in touch with them, they come up easily, which is an odd thing, but it is that being trying to stuff things. So yeah, I don't know. You can try that. Whatever works for you, though, Jen.
Yeah, and when we do stuff, and sometimes we have to, right? I mean, sometimes that we really have no choice, that we have to stuff them down. Eventually they will come back up for you to have to look at again, to because I always say you have to feel to heal them. And
Yeah.
Jen, I've been in situations too like this, and what I have learned to do is I pause. I will take a big pause, and I've learned to, like, step back, take a pause, breathe. And what has really helped me out is I will look at them like in a different lens. I will look at them like it's not me. It's not me. It's you. It's you that has the issues. And when you start looking at it in that light, like, they definitely have some work to do, and you see it like not as being attacked, and that, they are really kind of hurt in individuals that really need some healing. It does kind of put a different light on it, but pausing for me has really helped, and just kind of taking a step back and just going,
Yeah.
yeah, they have some stuff to work on.
That's huge. So Dr. James Gordon, he's a trauma specialist, and he has this thing, and he's like, when somebody kind of comes at you in a situation like that, he has a few things, like you can pretend to get a phone call, you can drop your keys, or you can say, oh, I dropped something, and you reach down to get it. And it kind of stops the, not attack, but it kind of puts that pause in there. And it's really helpful. But there's a few different tricks like that you can do. But I love that, and taking a breath and really saying back to them what they said. Okay, this is interesting. So I'm offending you when I do this, and let's talk about that. How can we work that out? Even if you don't agree.
Right.
The repeating it back is not it's a surrender in a way, that you're kind of giving them back that emotion, but you're not giving it back out of hate. You're not reacting, you're interacting still.
I love that. I
Wow.
love that, Terry. And Warrior Widow says, if you drink water, you can't cry. So if if you have to talk and cry, have a bottle of water with you. I like that. I didn't know that. I didn't know that thank you. Thank you for sharing that. And
Yeah.
Awesomeness says, if people become abusive, I leave.
Yeah.
And that too, you
Yeah.
just step
You don't
back
have to stick around.
and yep, you don't have to take it.
Yeah, you can just walk. That's easily done, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
being emotional is no fault. It's feelings, and don't apologize. Most don't have compassion or feelings.
Yeah. I love that, Ollie. It is interesting. I think I feel freer to cry now than I did when I was, like even 6 months ago. Like if I get teary eyed because of somebody that's speaking, and I hear something beautiful and it touches my heart, I'll cry, and it's okay. And people look at you, and you're like, yeah, that was beautiful. And they're like, oh my God, it really was.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And there's no shame. There's no shame in tears.
Yeah.
It's just, all of us here are empathic. And so we're sensitive. And so if somebody says something that hurts our feelings, and it may not even be something that hurts our feelings, it sometimes can be just something that's so beautiful. I'm definitely a weeper when I hear even beautiful stories. It's just the tears start rolling, and
Yeah. Back when I watched TV, it was like if a Coca-Cola commercial was on or something, they were all so touching, and the dogs and the horses and the snow. And I was like, oh, it's so beautiful.
Paul says 61 days until Christmas.
So this is a great comeback, Paul. That is the perfect comeback, right?
Isn't it?
Who doesn't want to think about Christmas? And then you're like, oh, well, that changes everything.
It does, right?
Yeah.
And that's exactly it.
It changes the story.
Mm-hmm.
Completely changes the story. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pivot.
Exactly. Yep.
Pivot and drop.
Do that pivot.
I think that was in what's her name? That really cute girl that was in The White Onion or whatever it was called, with the blonde hair. And anyway,
Jennifer Coolidge.
Oh yeah, Jennifer Coolidge, and Legally Blonde, and she does the pivot and drop.
Oh yes, yes, I love it.
That would change a conversation right there.
Oh, it would, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
People just be like, well, where did that come from? I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. There's so many other people that have come in. Thank you guys. Thank you for being here.
Yeah.
Sure, appreciate it. I am so far behind in the comments that I don't know if I'm going to be. Yeah, I don't think there's any way I can get caught up. Anyway, Liza says all the crying comments make us laugh, and that's wonderful.
Oh, Liza, that's such a
Exactly.
beautiful picture. Aw.
And Julie says, Jennifer is my idol. I love her so much. And she was so good in The White Lotus.
Oh my God.
I just can't wait for the next one. I binge watched it. And so I just can't wait for the next one because she's just a hoot.
So she and Mike White is the guy that wrote, I think he directs it and all this other stuff anyway, White Lotus, all the Lotus things. And he was on Survivor. And you know the show Survivor with the groups from long ago, and he employs a bunch of them on each movie. Like he brings them in as extras, and they have bit parts. Anyway, the people from his tribe and whatnot from Survivor. But I guess before he had started doing this, like right before they went in and they were going to do something, he had broken up with his partner. And he had booked this really nice safari. And so he invited Jennifer to come with him. And can you imagine the two of them? And they were in a pup tent. Like they were living in a pup tent.
In a pup tent?
Side by side.
Oh my
And
gosh.
Jennifer Coolidge does not sleep. Like she just stays up all night. And she goes, he would toss and turn and she would look over at him like, that's up her book. And I just think, oh my God, I'm sorry, you guys, I digress, but
well, there too, it changes the topic and it brings laughter in, and things that she does are definitely raises a person's vibration because she's just a hoot.
Yeah.
And so when we do our like spiritual detoxes and we're letting go and we're working through all of the crud that we're letting go, there can be emotional waves of nostalgia and grief and sometimes just relief, you know, when we do let go of the things that we need to let go of. However, they can, we talked about earlier, it can disrupt our sleep. And especially if we are doing a lot of work in our sleep too. Yeah. So our sleep patterns can change. However, when we do let go and really do a deep cleanse and even cutting our cords, it really will. It not only helps our immune system, but it also helps our clarity, and it really increases our intuition too.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's so many benefits from letting go, because we had talked about just letting in the blessings too, but it also helps our, to create our gifts too.
Yeah. They say, and this is all, entertainment, but they say that tension and inflammation are the two major causes of medical troubles now in our bodies, that inflammation. And it's so easy to do because we hold things in and our shoulders get higher and they curve in and hurts our backs and, or we carry too much weight on our shoulders. Like we hold on to our pain and we hold on to everybody else's, our children, our friends, our pets. So that releasing is really huge, and crying is a huge way to release, especially giving your tears to the mother, giving them to the earth. The planet is a sacred right. So, so letting go, going outside and spitting. In the Vedas, lots of shamans have you spit. Monks will have you spit, or Rinpoches. They'll give you a honey and milk and water thing that you drink a bit of, and you spit it when you're in the monastery. And it's just there's a lot of spitting in sacred rituals. So and there's a lot of other ways to let go during sacred rituals too. So yeah. But Yeah. Tears are really great for your skin too. It's like a facial.
Look at all the benefits. Look at all the benefits, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
if we would have only known that years ago, right?
Yeah.
When we were growing up, that all those tears were really beneficial
Yeah.
to us.
Yeah. Jen, I carry a lot of weight too, honey. And some of that is can be emotional, but some of it is the diet that we're fed, especially in the United States. So I know some of you are around the world, but in the US we have a lot of problems with our the food that we're given because it's a big business. So, it's all about shelf life.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah.
I carry too much weight all over rather than my shoulders. I shift them down to my buns and belly. Yeah,
Yeah.
same,
Yeah.
same. And sometimes I think, Jen, that um, I and and this is just my perspective. I think sometimes we carry that extra weight on our bodies and sometimes in our tummies as a protection device where maybe we won't be seen, or we don't want to be seen, and it kind of almost like it acts as a shield, and it doesn't, but I think internally, I think sometimes we feel like it might.
Mhm. Excuse me. I ate a hair.
I,
I was
I
stressed.
wonder I wonder how much hair I consume with having two cats in the house.
Oh my God. Yeah. Yeah. A cat and a dog. And
Yeah,
yeah.
I consume a lot of hair.
Here's our holy water. I love that in
Yes,
there. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love
100%.
it.
Yeah. And, oh, Nadia says probiotics are the secret to weight. Love that. Yeah.
Oh, I like that.
Um,
Has anyone mentioned Menatron will help with the releases that involve our generational healing needs? Thank you, Lauren.
Lauren, I love that. I really see Metatron being really interactive with our high heart. And the high heart, the space between your heart chakra and your throat chakra, is that coming into love and that we're all going through right now. And as we go in there, I always see Metatron there, like his colors, the rose and the lavender and the turquoise, and that's our divine space of healing. So it connects us to our divinity, to our light bodies, our crystalline light bodies. And it's like not a new chakra, it's been there forever, but it's where we're kind of all abiding and connecting now with the light. The sixth, seventh, and eighth dimensions. They say that the human species are way ahead of time right now. That we were supposed to be going into fourth and fifth, but so many of us now are taking it up a notch to sixth and seventh densities. So it's we're not there all the time, but we go there quite often. So we still have a 3D world here that we're interconnected with.
Diana, hello. Thank you for being here.
Hello, Miss
I'm so excited
Diana. Yeah, yeah.
tonight.
She was there last night with Robert Grant at the Dream.
Oh, I love that.
I know. Um, yeah. So I love that, Annie Bear, and that's huge. There's a lot of, indigenous tribes all around the world are pretty active with fasting, and that fasting of doing things, but it's all coming back. Like Ayurvedic meals are, lots of fiber, eating like as many colors as you can,
Mhm.
and it's huge because it does cleanse our bodies at the same time. And now I've started. I make at least one pot of beans to eat for the whole week for lunch. Annie, I know it does help. Yeah, and fasting. And the other thing is fasting with not just fasting with food, but also fasting with um, what we tell ourselves. Like give yourself a day or an hour just to be nice to yourself. and tell yourself wonderful things, and the more we do that, like starting every single morning with something that's good for you, like doing a couple of yoga poses and maybe giving yourself a facial, or I got these things to rub your body before you get in the shower in the morning, and it dry brushing, and it's
Oh, yes. I
yeah.
have some, but I've never used them. Have you started?
Yeah, and I used to I did it years ago. It's a Vedic thing. It's an Ayurvedic thing, but you do it, and you guys, the energy that you get from it, it's unbelievable.
Oh, I gotta get
So
mine
before
out.
you jump in the shower, yeah, just do it. It's just an easy thing, and you think, "Oh, I'm not going to do that for myself because I got to go do this and I got to go do that."
Right?
But it changes your game. For me, it's changed my game of taking care of myself when I wake up. And awesomeness, yeah, fermentation is probiotic, living food. Yeah, yeah, that's huge.
Yes. And I was talking earlier about how I've had people that I've crossed over coming to me a lot in my sleep. And I have a girlfriend. She was a neighbor growing up, and she lost her mom about 6 months ago. And anyway, she came to me. It wasn't last night. It was the night before, and she said, if I can give you two tips, she said, Kelly, fermented foods. She said to eat fermented foods and stretch. She said, and then she always had such amazing skin, and I looked at her and said, your skin was so amazing, and her mom was kind of standing back in the distance, and she said, I got it from my mom, and I had never met her mom because she was adopted, and so and then when she came in, I was able to see her skin, and it was just absolutely beautiful. But yeah, she said, if I can give you two tips of advice, fermented foods, and to be sure to stretch. And I'm like, noted. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, I'm doing it. I'm doing it. I am doing the stretches first thing when I wake up. So too.
That's good.
Well, that's part of my pelvic floor therapy. But sorry, guys. But yeah. So that's part of it. But like this morning, I didn't. But I went to yoga class, and most of it's a yoga pose. So. Oh, Annie Bear.
Love
Annie Bear
that.
got some presents for her birthday. Some Vedic
I
things.
like that.
Yeah. Yeah. The brushing is huge. The other
Mhm.
thing is giving ourselves a fast from media, I think is huge. And just give yourself half an hour or an hour without without a screen. And especially our phones, because it's there. Yeah, pelvic floor is huge for um, your gut and whatnot. So, but that stretching is huge. And then if you can too, like give yourself an hour of silence. And that's no TV, no media, and just silence, and give yourself some time, pardon me, to kind of like just be and see what you want to do. Like maybe you want to dance, maybe you want to silence, or maybe you want to journal or paint, but just be in your silence. And that's when you'll start channeling, because you guys are probably already channeling.
Oh
But
yeah.
yeah, but just kind of watching that and seeing what it brings in, and that silence, especially when you're outside and you're looking, then the animals start talking to you, and then the trees start talking to you, and the squirrels in particular start talking to you. So,
Right.
yeah, yeah, beautiful.
Do you fast?
I do in the mornings usually.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the mornings I will. And lately I've tried to start fasting when I first wake up. I'll have a little bit of water, but I'll wait to start my coffee a little bit, and try to take that a little bit later, because it's like my thing, right?
Yeah.
It's just a thing that I do every day. I don't think about it. I make my carafe of coffee, and now I kind of have to be more intentional about it. Like just telling myself, okay, what if you just had some water for a little bit?
Yeah, same. I try to do 12 to 15 hours, and sometimes it's not feasible, especially if a person had a light dinner the night
Yeah,
before. Then it's hard because you wake up and you're like, oh, I'm really hungry. But I do try to do the 12 12 to 15 hours. It ends up a lot of times being 12. But I love what you said, Terry, about the whole silence, because that's really kind of my jam. No TV, no nothing, just being still. And it's amazing when we're in that environment, what you can hear and the messages that come in. It's really, I like it. I'm a lot of times no TV, just Tim will come up here and he's like, it's dark and it's quiet and you don't have and it's like, yep, that's the way I like it.
I love that. That's beautiful. Beautiful.
So I have a mantra for us that can help, just help us with releasing and the whole releasing process and or letting go process. It says, I release what no longer serves me. I am open, clear, and ready to receive the blessings that await for me. So just something, and it doesn't have to be very long, but just something easy that we can say. I like to have quick, easy ones that I can put out to the universe to say, and some crystals, because I know Terry loves crystals, and I know a lot of you guys like crystals too. Amethyst is a great one to work with when we are trying to let go, because if our nervous system is kind of going haywire, amethyst will help calm us and give us that peacefulness and help us to release. And along with it, it brings us clarity. And rose quartz, too, is always good for our heart chakra and healing and self-compassion. And then lastly, selenite, that is great for just cleansing our energy. I mean, and it doesn't, like, I have a piece right here, and not on purpose, but I have it here just in front of me. And it doesn't have to be very big,
Yeah.
but it helps to cleanse our energy. And oh, that is beautiful.
Isn't that pretty? Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, I love this. This is one of my favorites.
And it raises our vibration too.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so powerful. It's so plentiful and so powerful, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So kind of my thing this week that I decided on is before I speak, I want to say to myself, I speak in love and peace.
I love
So,
that.
and just tell myself that even before I speak to myself. So, particularly to ourselves. Yeah.
And that's one of my intentions that I put out whenever I'm writing them, the new moons, full moons, just if I feel like writing down my intentions and gratitudes, I always say I make peace my priority. And it does make a huge difference. And and again, we're human. There's days that we have to work a little bit harder for that peace. But if a person puts that out there, it really does make a huge difference. I love that. I love that you say that before you speak. That's beautiful.
So I had Kim and two of you on this week, and she's always amazing. And she's doing something right now. She's and she won't mind me saying this, but she's taking some time off her channel, and she's really going into some shadow work. And she said that fear has become something that she wants to lean into because she thinks this is the way forward. And I thought, oh, that's a beautiful one. And kind of leaning into when you feel something come up and you're kind of fearful about it or makes you uneasy, kind of leaning into it with curiosity and watching it with witnessing awareness, like, wow, that makes me feel funny in my heart. My heart kind of hurts when I think about
Yeah.
this. It's really interesting and kind of going back to, well, when did that start? Were you 3 years old? And you didn't have to go through every memory that it might bring up. In fact, I'd say don't do it.
Yeah.
but you might just think, is this something that's I've been carrying for a long time? And is it worthy to carry for the rest of this human's experience?
I love that Kim is doing that, and what a task. I mean, you know
Yeah,
what? A, a curtsy to her, because that's huge, and to be able to lean into those fears that a person's been holding on to.
yeah,
Val, I commend her, because that's some huge work that she's doing, and but the rewards that she's going to reap from him it's going to be huge.
yeah, yeah. I thought it was great. I thought it was great. I thought it was lovely. So
So what do you got going on? Is your website up?
kind of, yeah. It's being changed still. Val's been helping me with it, and Val and Sal. But so it's going to be changed. It's still got a couple of things, but yeah, there's membership up there now, and I don't know what membership is yet, but membership's there, and
Nice.
so we're yeah, it's up, but it's not quite where it's going to be. I think, yeah, the
And
conditions.
and what's the website?
Oh,
How
holdingyourspace.com.
holdingyourspace.com.
Uh-huh. And then we've got tomorrow I'll be on with Dr. Gail, and then Sunday, Kevin Lewis and I are doing something Sunday night. So
Nice.
yeah, yeah. What are you doing?
I have got a recording tomorrow, and Sunday. Sunday, I think I might have to work a little bit, but I'm going to try not to work too long, because you got to have a day off,
Yeah,
and then I'm back at it next week. But I don't typically do shows or recordings on the weekends, but my calendar is so booked that I had to lean in and do a Saturday. So, but
yeah.
it's all good. It's all good. And today, yes, thank you, Annie, because thank you. Annie and I are going to be on today at 2 o'clock
Yay.
Pacific time, and we are going to be talking about archangels. This is our third show, and we're
I'm
learning
excited
so
too.
much. I cannot believe the information that when you start diving in, there's archangels that I had never even heard of. And so we each take like 2 or 3 archangels, and we speak. We each take turns, and we speak on our archangels, and then we do some angel readings, and I think we have enough more for maybe 2 more shows. So we have that today at 2, that
Wow.
I'm looking forward to it, because it's just it's fun, it's light, it raises the vibration, and like this today, like hanging out and talking. We could talk about things, but yet it still, I think it raises our vibration. I just I feel lighter and brighter, and I hope everybody that joins us today or is watching in the future, I hope there's something that you can take away from this. And thank you for sharing your time with Terry and I, and we will be back in 2 weeks, but we're not. I don't think that will be live. We do a recording on predictions and energy in 2 weeks. So we will see you guys soon, and everybody have a fabulous weekend. Take care of yourselves and take care of each other. And I love you, Terry,
Love you too.
and I love everybody. Take
Aw.
care, everybody.
Bye, everybody. Thanks, Kelly.
Bye bye.